Hello, thanks very much. It's a pleasure to start here today. My work focuses on plant community assemblage, especially in the process that during a secondary session. As we already know, the global change is characterized by increments temperature, change in the precipitation, and increments in disturbance such as Wi-Fi. Many research had a student of assembly plant community assemblage, such as Clements or Glaxon, but now many models agree that plant community assemblage is a dynamic process that develop over time. This process is driven by combined action for abiotic filters, abiotic interactions, and stochastic process. Therefore, the plant's biodiversity is the result of the combined effect for these factors. The Mediterranean ecosystems show a strong seasonality where the worst period coincides with the driest ones, creating a high stress for the plants. In addition, these ecosystems are affected by recurrent disturbance, especially wildfires, whose frequency and intensity are increasing to do the global change. Disturbance reduce cover and restart successions. Because for this, the time between events shapes the community. Here, the functional traits are acute, has climate and soil acts filters that decide which species can survive. With all this information in the mind, or study address following these center questions, and our hypothesis suggests that abiotic filters are dominate right after of the disturbance. However, over the time, these filters weaken and abiotic interaction become more important. We study 7 sites in south of Salamanca from 400 and 300 meter height. To analyze temporally dynamics, we use a chronolyze. At each site, we picked 3 plots, young, intermediate, and advanced stage. In this plot, we measure the species cover. We also compile more information for 11 functional traits. We use a climatic atlas for weather data and chemical soil analysis for the growth. Finally, the succession age definitely as the time science thus the last disturbance was determined through chronological analysis for the long life individual. We did all studies in air. The first we characterized by abiotic filters using 2 PCAs to summary climatic and soil data. Then we use NMDS to describe community composition based on Bright Curtis distance. We also use a SEM to find a relationship between abiotic factor, age, and biodiversity. Finally, we calculate biodiversity using index for species research, functional trait, and phylogenetic structure. As in this picture, the climatic PCAs, the first axis, CLIM1, goes from wet and cool sites to dry and warm ones. The second axis shows a diarrhea temporality change. For the soil PCS, show a gradient for less arid soils to more acid ones. In here, you can see the 2 graphs in MDS. The species show a clear gradient. On the positive end, you see a species adaptive for hot and dry condition, and the opposite, you find a species from colder and wet environment. In the second graph, the trials see a different ecology statistics during succession. All our SEMs follow a same structure, abiotic filter, climate and soil, and age determine the trait composition, which then affect biodiversity. In this diagram, we see that the trait 2 is a key predictor for the species composition. This trait dimension is strongly frequently by claim 1 and age. The three dimensions of the biodiversity are strongly like for trait 2, which is driven by climate and age. The functional diversity, the access, the trait 1 also play a small logical role. Regarding the phylogenetic, MNTDX is relative to climate and age through these traits. However, the PD axis so not such like. The means is not directly influenced by the abiotic filters or age. Climate and age drives a community assemblage. There is a safe functional trait, both taxonomic functional and phylogenetic diversity. However, new species are closely related to existing ones. This shows that even as research mutter, strong abiotic filters only alone adapted groups to enter. In conclusion, biodiversity increase over the time over which strong abiotic filters as a new species belong to similar lineage. However, the age drives habitat heterogeneity and both all the three dimensions of diversity. However, more frequency fires trait is processed by a short the time needs to recovering. This limits the complexity for the ecosystems under strict climatic control. Thanks for your attention.